Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today's review will be on the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Crowbar. And here he is in his alt mode, which is based off of the vehicle mode in the movie, which was a custom police variant of the Chevy Suburban. And here it is, little dusty there. But here he is. Check out the details. Very impressive looking alt mode. Nice little logo, top, bottom. He has 4 wheels that do function quite well. And that's pretty much it for his vehicle mode. So onto the transformation. Start off by lifting this forward, then coming back here. Separate this, come in here, fold that down, wiggle this, wiggle this, what do you wiggle this out of? There we go, out like so, and for this entire thing, right out, it's down, yeah. Fold this back, bring this down, bring that down. Then you lift this piece up like that, fold that down, fold and then fold in. That's how you collapse the back. And then you bring this like so. Before you bring this down, make sure you fold down these little rubbery bits like so, then bring this assembly down. It doesn't click into place, but you bring it down like so, and this is more or less how the back is supposed to be. Maybe lift this up a little bit. So we're just filling some of the gaps. As far as I can tell, the waist piece doesn't click into place. And then you rotate forward, bring this forward, fold the wheel back, and this at an angle, bend the knee, forward, fold for clearance, fold back, bend the knee, and there we have his feet. And then fix the arms. There you go. Fold out the arms. Fold this piece in, rotate. Same thing on this side. Come on. Come on. There we go. Got his hand out, fold out his hands. Fold in and adjust the face, and here we have Crowbar in his robot mode. And it's a quite nasty looking robot mode in the good sense of the word. Check out the head sculpt with the nice painted multi eyes. The jaw does not open, which is a shame, but there it is. And I think you're supposed to have it like this, lined up, so that it looks like these dreads are coming out of his head. But the head does have its own little hinge and ball joint, which leads to his articulation. The head is on a ball joint with its own separate little hinge. The arm is on a ball joint. Elbow has a hinge there. Bend at the elbow. Swivel at the, let's say elbow as well. And a little bit of wrist action. No waist. Ball joint at the thigh. Ball joint at the leg, swivel at the leg, swivel at the thigh, bend at the knee, and little up and down at the feet. So he's got a pretty decent articulation. So yeah, a little bit on the shadowy side. Yeah, so he's got a decent amount of articulation. And yeah. Next up we go to some, and these little dread things are like a soft rubbery plastic. So they're not, so you can kind of manipulate them. I'll explain why they're so short later. I had to do a bit of a custom job because of the those dreads were really annoying. So it's on to a size comparison. Here we have Ratchet and Cliffjumper, some staple characters on the show. And now onto his accessories, which unfortunately I got this figure secondhand, so I do not have all of his original accessories. I will, however, borrow 2 accessories from a previous figure in which this figure took a lot of recycled some pieces from. So give me one moment. And here we have the spike grenades from the movie version of this character. Now, these here are not the ones that came with him. I believe these are the ones that came with Berserker. At least that's what Berserker was holding, so I'm assuming these were his. So, Crowbar here came with the same exact accessories. And these things, you can just sort of plug them in each hand. Or you can hook them up here as like a form of storage. Like hook it, you can like wedge it in there as a form of storage. And you can sort of reach back for it, supposedly. Yeah, and yeah, these aren't spears or anything. Well, they kind of are, but they are supposed to be spiked grenades. That's what they are. And they were in the film. I did double check that these were in the film. I do remember that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Crowbar. He was supposed, and since he's a studio series, he is supposed to come with a backdrop of a scene that he was in. Unfortunately, I don't have the backdrop. I got it secondhand, but I can tell you that that's the backdrop. The scene that it was showing was the highway scene in which this character was very prominent in, him and his partners. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for Crowbar here. Overall, he's a pretty decent figure. The biggest flaw I had with him, I pretty much took care of it because it was so annoying, which were his dreads. These dreadlocks here were originally like twice, if not they were double the length. And because of that, I couldn't properly transform into his vehicle mode. The absolute best I could do was transform it, but then have the dreadlock just sticking out of the back, and as if the car had like chains attached to it. I mean, I guess someone might like that, but I didn't. I felt that was a really, really dumb design. So yeah, I just cut it off. And at this length, I'm able to hide him away properly. And he still has the appearance of, you know, the dreads. He still like has them, which is fine. I didn't think they needed to be that long. And yeah, so now onto the mini history section. Crowbar here was a Decepticon featured in the Transformers Dark of the Moon film. And he was part of a small squad of Decepticons known as the Dreads, with his partners being Crankcase and Hatchet. And potentially Berserker from The Last Knight may also have been a Dread, since he shared the same body type, he shared the same, you know, frame as Crankcase. So he may have also been a Dread. And they were just a squad of like very ruthless Decepticons that chased after Bumblebee on the highway scene of Chicago in the film, which is what that backdrop was referencing. Well, not referencing, but showing. So, yeah. And I guess another fun thing about Crowbar is that he was I don't want to say he's a retool. It's more like they recycled parts from a previous figure, which was the Berserker, from the Deluxe class Berserker from the Last Knight toy line. They recycled a lot of parts, and they even recycled the entire alt mode. His vehicle mode is the exact same one that Berserker has. If you happen to have a Berserker, transform them both, put them side to side, and they are identical. It's the same alt mode. It's just they just hide a different robot. I found that kind of impressive and neat. And then Crowbar here was then repainted into the Studio Series Crankcase, which is odd considering that Berserker is the one in which they reused Crankcase's frame, but then when they made the Crankcase figure, they then decided to repaint Crowbar. I have no idea why they did that. I guess I'm not as smart as like the Hasbro or Takara technicians. I don't know who made that choice, but apparently they are playing a lot more 4D chess than I am, because I do not see why they made that decision of repainting Crowbar into a new Crankcase when Berserker is essentially Crankcase. So yeah, that's just beyond me. So yeah, overall, figure's okay. it's not bad. If you like the dreads and whatnot, he is not bad. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Crowbar. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.